Hi everybody, this is my first time going live on YouTube, so hopefully you're able to come and join me and listen to how I got started as a notary. Okay, now I do have an about how I got started on my website, but since I'm going to be doing this video, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you guys how I got started, how it went when I got started, and how it's doing now. All right, so let's get right into it. Now, in 2018, I had my travel agency. Okay, I started my travel agency in 2016, I think, 2016. So anyway, I wanted to have a business address for my business because I did mail out packages to my customers when they were going to travel. It was just a thank you for booking with me. Here are some important things that you should keep in mind during your travel, blah, blah, blah. And then I would give them like a little keychain or like a little notebook with my logo on it, a pen, you know, little trinkets for my business. So I wanted to mail them and I wanted the return address to be my business address. So I stumbled upon Anytime Mailbox online and I went ahead and applied to have a business address assigned to my business. Now, the application, you guys have probably notarized it. If you are servicing on notarize.com, then you have notarized a ton of these. Okay, I forget the name of the form, but I needed to get this form notarized. It was late at night, so I was thinking, bummer, like, so I'm gonna have to print this out. I'm gonna have to go find a UPS and go and get this notarized, right? Well, I saw that they were offering for customers to get notary done online. So I'm like, notary online? I've never heard of that before. So I was like, sure, I didn't mind paying the $25 because it was late. It was like 10, 11 o'clock at night when I was doing this, and I just wanted to go ahead and get my address locked in that I had found. So I went ahead, filled out the application, got connected with a really nice gentleman on notarize.com to get my form notarized so that I can turn it in the next day. Now, while he was doing my notary, I was intrigued. I'm like, I want to know how to get started with doing notary online because I only thought you could do it face to face. And so after he was done, I was like, he asked me, did I have any questions? I said, I don't have any questions per se about my document, but I did want to ask you some questions about how you got started as a notary, if you don't mind. I like to pick your brain a little bit. He was like, sure, go right ahead. I asked him all the questions that I had, and I was intrigued, like I think that's something that I can offer as an additional service to my travel agency, right, in planning travel. Unfortunately, at the time, I was in school to get my master's degree, and I could not take on anything at that time, so I decided not to pursue it right then. So a year went by, I graduated my master's program, woo, and I immediately started watching videos on what is a notary, how to become a notary, how to get started. So my intentions were to also become an online notary. So I watched videos. I graduated in May. I watched videos day and night, looking up information about, what all being a notary entailed, because of course I didn't want to get into anything that in the end I decided, yeah, I don't think I want to do this, right? So I did all my research. I started following Laura Buer, Bill Soroka, and what is her name? Carol Ray of Notary to Pro. So I started following them. I started joining in on their TNT, their Tuesday Notary Titans live like webinars, and I was just blown away. I'm like, this is absolutely something that I can offer as an additional service. I want to do it. So I went ahead and applied. I became commissioned in July. Okay, so fast forward from being commissioned in July, I was reading about loan signing. Okay. Now, I hadn't heard about loan signing before. I only just wanted to get into notary so I could do it online. But listening and following Bill, Laura, Carol, they were talking about the loan signing, and so I started looking into that because I'm real big on research. Okay, so I went ahead and started looking into that. I was looking like, well, that's something I can do too, but maybe I'll just do general notary for now. You know, I don't think I want to get into that right away. So let me go ahead and start doing general notary and learn about doing general notary first. So that's what I did. And I loved Laura Buer. I still love Laura Buer. She's like my secret mentor. I love the fact that that was her niche, general notary, specialty notary work. So I went ahead and signed up for her library because there was a discount during one of the TNTs, and I took advantage of it. I was like, lifetime access to the library where she's giving you all type of gems and jewels in the notary business. Yes, I'm signing up. I went ahead and signed up with the discount code. I still have access to her library. I love it. The videos are kind of lengthy, but it's so worth it because specialty notary work was exactly what I wanted to do because I didn't want to jump into loan signings right away. I'm like, yes, I want to do what she's doing. You know, they say if you see somebody doing something and they're successful at it, then you should follow what they're doing if that's something you want to do. And that's what I wanted to do. So I follow her and I listen to her and I use all her tips. And I became commissioned in July. I opened my official notary business, you know, because once I decided that's something I wanted to do, I wanted to make sure I registered my business. I got my EIN number, you know. Since I'm not a stranger to the world of business, I knew what steps I needed to take before I just opened up for business. So I did all of that. And once I got all of that done, I got my business registered. I got my EIN number. I opened up a business banking account. I'm ready. I'm ready. And I got all my supplies, of course. Don't leave that out. I got all my notary supplies, okay, because you can't open and you don't have your tools. So I got everything that I needed. Watched tons of videos, videos from a fairly new notary showing what's in my notary bag, what are the essentials that you should carry around with you. I'm like, yes, I need all this, I need all of this. I need to know the basics. I watched a very thorough video. I think it's the Notary, is it Notary? I can't think of the channel I was following, but they're based in California. There's like a ton of videos for notaries and doing notary in California, unfortunately. I am commissioned in Florida, but I watched the video. God, I wish I could remember the channel, but it went over a very thorough review of a notary certificate, how to identify it, what the elements are of the certificate, how to tell the difference between an acknowledgement and jurat. It was amazing. I'm like, yes, this is what I needed, you know? So I'm just preparing myself for all of this. And then I finally said, I'm gonna open officially for business August 1st. I opened August 1st. I got my first notary in August, which was a dear friend of mine, okay? And she had a sports waiver that she needed to get notarized for her son. And she always went through her manager to get the notary, but she wanted to give me a chance. She's like, you're becoming a notary, I'm gonna be your first customer. And I'm like, really? I'm like, oh my God, that'll be so awesome. So once I got all my tools and I opened for business, she was my first notary customer. And I was super nervous. I was nervous because this is my first time notarizing a document. And I had watched video after video on what to do and how to do it. And I felt like I was confident, but when I got in front of that document, I was like, so she was cool though, because she knew it was my first time. So she didn't give me a hard time. She just, you know, watched, and I just was looking, and I'm like, okay, I remember this. Okay. I filled it out. I stamped the document for the first time, filled out my journal, had her sign it, thumbprint and all that stuff. And I was in. I was like, I could do this. So after that, I got my first loan signing. Now, it was a loan modification, and it was through Prestige Notaries, right? No. It was Coast to Coast Signings. And the owner of Prestige Notaries is also the owner of Coast to Coast Signings. So as soon as you become, I'm sorry, I'm trying to tell you guys in the correct order. Let me backtrack. After I did the notary for my friend, I went ahead and became certified as a loan signing agent with NNA. Now, I had no intention on having loan signing be the only thing I do. I very much wanted to do specialty notary work, but I wanted to get the certification out of the way so that I could have that in my back pocket when I was ready. Now, once you become certified as a loan signing agent with NNA, you are listed on their signingagent.com website. You have a listing automatically. And when you do that, you're going to see that you start getting notifications for loan signings from companies that use signingagent.com to find notaries. So that's that. Now let's go back to what I was saying. I got my first loan signing. It was a loan modification through Coast to Coast Signings, okay? Coast to Coast Signings actually has a YouTube channel that shows you how to execute the signings that they assign you to, okay? So they tell you this in the instructions that is given to you once you get the signing. Okay, so it's not like you're going to get the signing and you're going to go into it blind, you don't know what to do. No, they send you instructions, you read the instructions. If you can read, if you can follow directions, you're going to be good. Okay, so that's what I did. I followed the instructions. I went to their website, their YouTube channel, watched the videos on how to execute a loan modification, and then I met with the person that did the loan modification. Now, I was thrown off because there was a document in there that I did not know if I had to sign and notarize. And when I did that, I was like, after I did that signing, it was so scary. It was scary. And I remember listening to Bill, Laura, and Carol Ray talking about how important it was for you to get training for loan signings. You know, like you can do YouTube all day, okay, but you don't really know if what you're watching is correct, because everybody gets into the business and the first thing they want to do is start doing videos and telling you what to do, and they don't even know what they're doing. So it's like, no, I think I want to get further training because I don't want to be scared like that again the next one I get. So I automatically stopped taking loan signings. I was getting the notifications to my phone, but I was like, I refuse to take another loan signing until I get the appropriate training. So I continued to do general notary work, okay? Because I wanted to just get comfortable with doing that. I want to get comfortable with doing notary. You know, you can look at however many training videos and go over sample documents as much as you want, but it's nothing like getting out there and doing it, okay? And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to become more confident in what I was doing. So I was doing general notary work. I was getting business. People were calling me from my Google business page that I had created, because I created my Google business page before I started business. But what I did was I put that my opening date was going to be August 1st. So whenever you would look at my listing in July, because I became commissioned July 7th. July 7th. And my open date for business was August 1st. So whenever you would look at the listing, it would just say opening soon. So people were seeing it. So as soon as it said now open, I started getting calls. And I was excited because I'm like, this is not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I'm like, it's not hard to get business. The area that I am in is definitely a good area to be in, because remember, whenever you decide to start a business, it is based on location, just like it is where you find a home to live and raise your family, okay? If you're not in a good location for business, chances are you're not going to get a whole lot of business, okay? But anyway, I was getting the calls, I was getting everything. I did not take my first loan signing training until October. I went with Notary to Pro because since I was following Carol, I was following Bill, and I was following Laura, and I kept listening about Notary to Pro, how it's nationally recognized. That was a big deal for me. And I'm like, I definitely want to go the route where it's nationally recognized, because if people see I took Notary to Pro training, they're going to automatically want to work with me because they know that I got some bomb training, right? So I went ahead and got the training with Carol. Carol's class, Notary to Pro, gives you a list of signing services that will work with Notary to Pro students regardless of how much experience you have. I took my time because some of the listings on the list at the time for me, I don't know about now, but they were not up to date. Excuse me, they weren't up to date. So the ones that I could sign up with, I signed up with. I signed up with as many as I could. It was exhausting. The first page she has highlighted with services, signing service companies that you should sign up with first. Then the other ones on the list, you can sign up with at your own risk, pretty much. So that's what I did. I signed up with as many as I could. It was tedious. I had to do it day by day. I could not do it in one sitting because some signing service platforms or signing service websites, they have a lengthy application process. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do this today. I'll do this tomorrow. So it was a tedious process. What I tried to do was I started off doing maybe 5 a day, and then it kind of trickled down to maybe a couple a day. And then before I knew it, I was doing maybe 1 here, 1 there. But I ended up, I ended up signing up with enough to where I was getting a lot of loan notifications. Now, I started taking more signings than what other notaries would consider worth it, because some of the signings were very low fees, but I didn't care. I'm like, I need the experience. The more experience I get, the better I'm gonna be. And then I'll know what my worth is and how much I can charge because I'll be done had the experience. So that's what I did. And a lot of I found out about notary Facebook groups, and I joined some of them so that I would have access to seasoned notaries and I'd be able to ask questions and get some support. And they totally shitted on me. You know, I would post a post saying, hey, I'm so excited, I got to sign in, whoop, whoop, whoop. They're paying me $50, and the other notaries snapped. Oh, it's notaries like you, the reason why we can't get the money that we're worth, and you're trash, and da-da-da-da. And it's like, I'm new. What? You know, and I'm like, this is not supportive. So this is why I created my own notary group. I didn't create the notary group with the intention that I would be teaching other notaries how to be a notary, because I was new. I created the group so that it could be a safe space for me to share my experiences and maybe answer some questions that I have already, you know, got the answers to myself, you know, so that I can just be a support for other notaries, and seasoned notaries could join who wanted to help, and they could be support for me too and other notaries. So that's how that went. I'm still going strong doing loan signings. I have more experience now. I have a ton of experience with General Notary. I mean, when I took off with General Notary, you guys, when I tell you I was getting calls back to back from my Google page, it was a breath of fresh air. It was a blessing. I started doing the notary scared. I started doing it scared because it was like, how much more training can I get? I just need to get started because I'm not going to come across everything. And every notary appointment that I got from my Google business page was something new. So I got a chance to experience so much just doing general notary work way before I jumped into doing loan signings. Like I said, I started business in August. I didn't start doing loan signings, like really doing them, until October after I got certified. I did that one, got scared straight, and was like, okay, I'm gonna take a training because I don't feel comfortable doing this. And I'm sharing my story with you guys to let you know that you gotta do it scared. You can't be sitting up here thinking, okay, I'm just going to do all this training and never start. You have to start. Learn the basics. Learn the basics and get started. Hold on just a second. I just had a loan signing come through. And I want to take it. There we go. So like I said, my business is going strong. I get steady work. I'm not doing 6 signings a day like some notaries. I do work during the day. So I'm only able to take 1 or 2 signings a day. And some weeks I can do it. And some weeks I may get 1 or 2. But the good thing is that I'm getting them. I'm getting them, and I pay attention to, now that I've done a bunch, now I can pay attention to the fees that come in, pay attention to the location, see what's being asked of me. Do they want me to provide a witness, or is this too far for the fee? And I don't like to take any signings that's less than $90. If I do take something less than $90, that means it's like super close to my house and they don't want me to do scan backs and I'm not printing 300 pages. You know, you got to weigh what's worth it to you. And every business structure is different. For some people, that $50 can be, can make or break them. For others, that $50 is extra income, because you have some notaries who are doing notary work as a part-time job. It's not their full-time gig. So $50 to me is extra money. It's not how I'm gonna pay my bills, okay? For some, $50 is how they're gonna pay their bills. So they're like, I may wanna wait, or I may take everything I get because I gotta pay my bills at the end of the day. Whereas me, I can see a $50 order and I'm like, nah, I'll wait for the next one because I know I'm gonna get a paycheck regardless of whether or not I take my notary assignments or not. Okay, so when you see notaries taking low fees, do not ostracize them. Don't make them feel terrible, like they're a bad person, like they're the reason why the whole notary world is going to crash. Do not do that to them. Don't do that to them. Let people work at their own pace and do what's best for their business. Remember, this business is based off of location. Some locations, that's a lot of money. And then other locations, it may be a low fee. Every low fee that you think is low is not low to everybody, depending on where they're located. Okay? So I wanted to share how I got started and how it is going with you guys, because people ask me all the time, and it's like I tell a person here, I tell a person there, but I wanted to be able to come on here and tell you guys, because people don't really share the good, bad, and ugly. Okay? Now, one thing I do want to let you know is when I first started, I started out marketing strong, and that's why I was getting all those calls for my Google My Business. And you know what happens when you start going strong? You stop doing some of the things you were doing. Like you stop going so hard. Like, I don't know why people do that, but that's what I did. I stopped marketing so much, and I saw like a 2-month dead space where I was getting like not a whole lot of calls anymore. And you want to know why? Because I stopped marketing every day. I was able to compare how I was doing when I was marketing every day based on, and then, versus how I was getting business when I stopped going all out and doing the marketing. Okay, so for me, I have to market every day if I plan to have continued success in my business. That may be something that you guys want to think about. What I do is I schedule my social media posts and my marketing attempts a month in advance. Excuse me. I ate. I'm burping. But I have to plan ahead so that I'm not overwhelmed trying to do it every day. I use social media planners. I plan, and if you see all of my posts on several channels, it's because I have all that stuff planned out. So for this month, I planned everything for this month last month. And then going towards the end of this month, I'm going to plan all of my marketing for next month so that I can create it, set it, forget it. All right, so I hope this video helps some of you guys who are just getting started, or some of you guys who feel stuck. That was the purpose of this video. So please make sure, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to be notified when I go live again or post another video, subscribe. Until next time, bye.